Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'd love it if you could leave a comment letting me know where you're listening from around the world. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video. Story 1. I've been delivering food for years, mostly at night. The pay is better, the roads are empty, and honestly, I like the solitude. Just me, my car, and the occasional late night weirdo ordering burgers at 2 a.m. But some nights stick with you. Some orders never leave your mind, no matter how badly you want to forget them. This was one of those nights. It started like any other shift. A new order popped up on my screen. Just a single burger and fries. Nothing weird about it. The address, though, I didn't recognize it. I've delivered all over this town. Every street, every dead end, every back road. But this one, it didn't ring a bell. The GPS took me out past the last gas station, down a long, empty road. No streetlights, no houses, just miles of trees pressing in from both sides like silent watchers. And then, just as I was starting to think my app had screwed up, I saw it. A house. It sat alone at the end of a gravel driveway, nestled between the trees like it had been dropped there and forgotten. The place looked wrong. Old, but not in a quaint, charming way. More like a relic from a past that should have been buried. The wooden siding was warped and cracked. The windows dark except for one, the one with the curtains slightly parted. Someone was watching me. I slowed to a stop, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. My gut told me to leave, to cancel the order, drive away, and pretend I never saw this place. But my rational brain fought back. It's just a house, just another late night order. The porch light flickered as I stepped out, casting a sickly yellow glow over the front steps. The air felt heavier here, thick, like breathing through damp cotton. I knocked on the door. Silence. I knocked again. Nothing. Then my phone buzzed in my pocket, making me jump. I pulled it out and checked the screen. Unknown number. Leave it on the porch. I frowned. Usually, the app showed the customer's name, but this was just blank. Something about this whole thing was putting my nerves on edge, but I wasn't about to stand there any longer than I had to. I set the bag down on the wooden boards, turned around, and started back toward my car. That's when I felt it, the shift, like stepping into a different reality. The air grew colder in an instant. The night, already quiet, became suffocatingly silent. No wind, no rustling leaves, just nothing. And then I heard it, a whisper, low, almost too soft to catch, but definitely there, right behind me. I turned my head slowly, my breath caught in my throat. The curtain moved. Not like before, this time something pressed against it. A hand, pale, fingers too long. A second hand joined it. Then a third. My body reacted before my brain did. I ran, bolted from my car, so fast I barely felt my feet hit the ground. I fumbled for the door handle, yanked it open, and threw myself inside, slamming the lock down with shaking fingers. I forced myself to look up. The house was gone. I blinked, my breath coming in short, panic gasps. No, that wasn't possible. I had just been there. I had just set the food down. But where the house had been, there was nothing. Just an overgrown lot, weeds stretching toward the sky. My car's headlights cast long shadows over the empty space. I checked my phone. The order was gone. No record of it. No address. No payment. It was like it had never existed. I sat there for a long time, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my fingers went numb. My mind kept trying to rationalize it, to find a reasonable explanation. But deep down I knew, some things aren't meant to be understood. I never took another order from that part of town again. Story 2. I never believed in ghosts, or demons, or whatever you want to call the things that live in the dark corners of the world. Not until that night. I had been doing food delivery for about a year, mostly late at night. Good tips, easy traffic, and the quiet. I liked the quiet. I wasn't a people person, and this job let me stay in my own little bubble. No small talk, no awkward conversations. Just pick up, drop off, and go home. That night, though, that night changed everything. It was just after 2 a.m. when I got the order. A simple meal from a 24-hour burger joint, heading to an apartment complex on the far side of town. A place I'd been to before. Nothing weird. I picked up the food, tossed it on the passenger seat, and started driving. A few minutes in, I felt it. That strange, crawling sensation on the back of my neck. Like someone was watching me. I told myself I was just tired. I hadn't slept much the night before, and exhaustion does weird things to the brain. Makes you see movement and shadows that aren't really there. Makes you hear whispers and the hum of your tires against the pavement. The streets were empty. Just me and the road, stretching out ahead in the glow of my headlights. I stopped at a red light, and that's when I saw it. In the rearview mirror, a shadowy figure sitting in my back seat. My breath caught in my throat. My pulse slammed against my ribs. Every instinct in my body screamed, move, run, get out, but I couldn't. I was frozen. The thing wasn't clear, not at first. It was more of a shape, a dark mass hunched over like a person leaning forward, its head tilted just slightly to the side, watching me. I spun around so fast my seatbelt nearly choked me. Nothing, just empty seats. I exhaled hard, rubbing a shaky hand over my face. My mind was playing tricks on me. Had to be. Sleep deprivation. Too many horror movies. My nerves messing with me. I forced a laugh, because if I didn't laugh, I might scream, shook my head, and hit the gas. But the feeling didn't go away. As I drove, I kept glancing at the mirror. Every time, there was nothing there. But that heavy, pressing presence lingered, like someone breathing down my neck, like something waiting. By the time I pulled into the apartment complex, I was sweating. I grabbed the bag of food and stepped out of the car. That's when I noticed it. The back seat door was slightly open. I stared at it. I never left my doors unlocked. I always checked. Had someone gotten in? Was someone hiding in my car? I took a slow step back, scanning the parking lot. No movement. No footsteps. Just the distant hum of a street lamp flickering above me. I swallowed my fear, shut the door, and hurried to the apartment. Knocked, dropped the bag, and didn't wait for the customer to open up. I just wanted to get back in my car, finish my shift, and pretend none of this happened. But when I got back behind the wheel, I saw it. On the back seat window. A handprint. Large. Too large. The fingers long and crooked, like they had been pressed into the glass from the inside. My chest tightened. My vision tunneled. My mind raced through every possible explanation. None of them good. I slammed the lock shut, threw the car in a drive, and got the hell out of there. I told myself I'd check the back seat when I got home, that I'd prove to myself that there was nothing there, just some condensation, a trick of the light, my own handprint distorted, but I didn't check. I couldn't, because deep down, I knew the truth. That handprint wasn't mine. And the worst part, that wasn't the last time it happened. Story 3. It was a freezing winter night, the kind where the wind feels like a blade slicing through your coat, no matter how thick it is. My breath came in short, misty puffs as I waited outside a cheap burger joint for my next order. The notification buzzed on my phone. A late-night delivery, not unusual for a town like this. The instructions, though, were weird. Come inside and leave the food on my table. Do not say a word. Most people just wanted their food left at the door. This guy wanted a full-blown ritual. But money was money, and I wasn't in the business of asking questions. I grabbed the bag, cranked up my car's heater, and set out toward the diner. The place sat alone at the edge of town, just before the highway turned into nothing but dark, endless road. I had driven past it a few times before, but never stopped. The neon sign buzzed and flickered, throwing sickly yellow light across the icy pavement. I pulled into the lot. A few cars were parked outside, but there were no footprints in the thin layer of snow leading to the door. That was the first thing that made my stomach tighten. The second was the silence. Even from outside, a place like this should have had noise, clinking dishes, muffled conversations, the hiss of a fryer. But it was dead quiet. I hesitated before stepping in. The bell above the door jingled, sharp and shrill in the silence. The smell of old grease and something off hit me immediately. It wasn't rotten exactly, just wrong. There were people sitting in the booths. Couples. Families. A man in a trucker's cap nursing coffee. But they weren't moving. Not chewing. Not blinking. Just sitting there. Hands poised over their meals like someone had hit pause on their lives. I swallowed hard and took a slow step forward. The cashier stood behind the counter, stiff as a mannequin. Her eyes were open but unfocused, staring at something distant. Her mouth hung slightly open, as if she'd been about to speak when she just stopped. I glanced toward the kitchen window. The cooks were frozen mid-action, one reaching for a spatula, another holding a basket of fries over the fryer, his fingers hovering in the air. Everything in me screamed to turn around, walk out, and drive until I hit a town that didn't feel like a goddamn crime scene. But I had a job to do. The only empty booth was near the back, just as the instructions had said. My footsteps sounded too loud as I crossed the floor. I placed the bag on the table, my fingers numb despite the warmth inside. I turned, ready to leave. Then I saw him. He was sitting in the farthest booth, tucked into the shadows where the neon glow barely reached. A man in a suit, immaculate, black as ink. He was watching me. His eyes, too wide, too dark, held something that made my stomach churn. A slow, creeping wrongness. And then he smiled. His lips curled back, revealing teeth that weren't human. Too sharp, too many. I didn't think. I just ran. My legs felt heavy, like the air around me had thickened, trying to drag me down. The bell above the door let out a shriek as I shoved it open. Cold air slapped my face. I scrambled into my car, slamming the door shut and locking it in one motion. My hands were shaking as I fumbled with the ignition. When I finally got the engine roaring, I risked one last glance at the diner. It was empty. No customers. No workers. No man in the booth. The booths were clean, untouched. The counter was empty. The kitchen window showed nothing but cold, lifeless metal. as if no one had been there at all. My phone buzzed. My stomach lurched as I looked at the screen. Order delivered. Tip, $0. I didn't go back. Not to that part of town. Not ever. But sometimes, late at night, when my car is idling at a stoplight and I glance in the rearview mirror, I swear, for just a second, I see a man in a black suit, watching, smiling,